She was one of the first that I really knew about and supported and, idolized and wanted to be like. And, I just admired the way she played the game and the fire that she played with. And
is this a new pair of Kobe's that you're bringing out tonight?
It is.
Debuting? Yeah. Can you,
Yeah.
What went into the decision to wear those? Are they custom? What should we know about the shoe?
They're custom, so you won't get them. But I think they're the Rookie of the Year Kobe PEs. So there's a picture that the Fever took after the season when I had my trophy. I was in my red uniform, so it's what they're based off of. Nike designed them. They did well, so yeah.
She broke every college basketball record imaginable. She filled arenas like no women's player before her. She became the face of a generation. But when Caitlin Clark talks about the players she respects most, her list reveals something far more powerful than her legendary three-point range. Some names will surprise you, others will make perfect sense. But together, they paint a picture of who Caitlin Clark really is and why her impact on basketball goes far beyond the stat sheet. What's fascinating isn't just who made the list, it's what each player taught her about the game, about pressure, and about leaving a legacy that matters. So buckle up, because we're counting down the 7 basketball players that shaped the mindset of one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. Starting at number 7, we have Maya Moore, and if you're scratching your head wondering why a 4-time WNBA champion isn't higher on this list, you're missing the point. For Caitlin Clark, Maya Moore represents something bigger than basketball.
I know Maya Moore is your favorite player. In a game to 11 against prime Maya Moore, how many points?
11-0, Maya Moore, for sure.
You're not scoring one bucket.
I'm not scoring. She's blocking me.
Sure, Moore dominated at UConn, winning back-to-back national championships. Yes, she was nearly unstoppable in the WNBA, collecting championships like most players collect participation trophies. But what Clark respects most about Maya Moore is the courage it took to walk away from the game at her peak to fight for social justice. Moore stepped away from basketball for 4 seasons to help free a wrongfully convicted man from prison. Think about that. At the height of her powers, when she could have been padding her legacy in her bank account, she chose purpose over points. Clark has mentioned in interviews how Moore showed her that being great at basketball gives you a platform, but what you do with that platform defines your legacy. Moore's range from beyond the arc, her versatility, her ability to take over games, Clark studied all of it. But the lesson that stuck, sometimes the most important shot you take is the one off the court. Now we get to number 6, and this one needs zero explanation for anyone who's watched Caitlin Clark play. Stephen Curry. Connection is so obvious it's practically genetic when Clark pulls up from 30 feet like it's a layup, when she celebrates before the ball even hits the net, when she makes defenders look silly with her handles. You're watching Curry's influence in real time. But it goes deeper than just the logo threes. Curry revolutionized basketball by proving that you don't need to be the biggest or the most athletic to be the most dominant. He changed the entire geometry of the game, forcing defenses to guard 94 feet of court because his range is essentially unlimited. Sound familiar? That's exactly what Clark did to women's college basketball. Clark has been vocal about studying Curry's game, not just his shooting mechanics, but his movement without the ball, his ability to create space, his court vision. She's talked about how Curry made it acceptable, even celebrated, to play with joy and confidence. That shimmy after a big shot? That's not disrespect. That's competitive fire meeting artistic expression. Curry gave players like Clark permission to be great and have fun doing it. In a sport that sometimes takes itself too seriously, Curry reminded everyone that basketball is supposed to be beautiful, and Clark took that message to heart. At number 5, we have Sue Bird, and if you know anything about point guard play, you know why she's on this list. 5 Olympic gold medals, 4 WNBA championships, 19 seasons of making everyone around her better. Sue Bird is the definition of what it means to run a team. What Clark respects about Bird goes beyond the accolades, it's the IQ. Bird saw the game 3 passes ahead. She could dissect a defense in real time and find the weakness before the opponent even knew it existed. Her leadership wasn't loud or flashy, it was surgical, precise, devastating in its effectiveness. Clark has always been a score-first point guard, and that's fine when you're the best player on the court, but Bird showed her the value of making the right play over the highlight play. There's a reason Bird's teams always overachieved. She made role players feel like stars. She understood that 5 players working as one will always beat 5 individuals, no matter how talented. In interviews, Clark has mentioned studying Bird's pick-and-roll reads, her ability to control tempo, and most importantly, her composure in pressure situations. Bird never looked rattled, never looked rushed. She played chess while everyone else played checkers. For a player like Clark, who faces constant defensive attention and double teams, Bird's mastery of making the simple play at the right time was a masterclass in point guard excellence. Coming in at number 4 is Magic Johnson, and this might be the most important name on the list for understanding Caitlin Clark's game. If you watch Clark play and you see elements of Curry's shooting and Bird's leadership, you have to see Magic's creativity and joy. Magic Johnson didn't just play basketball, he performed it. Every no-look pass, every behind-the-back dime, every smile that stretched from baseline to baseline. Magic understood that greatness and showmanship weren't enemies. They were partners. He made winning look fun and fun look winning. But beyond the style, Magic had substance. He's the only player in NBA history to win Finals MVP as a rookie while playing center in a clinching game. He revolutionized the point guard position by being 6'9" and handling the ball like a guard. He saw passes that didn't exist and somehow made them materialize. His court vision was supernatural. Clark has talked about watching old Magic highlights and being mesmerized by his passing angles and his ability to make the extraordinary look routine. Magic averaged over 11 assists for his career while also being a scoring threat. That dual threat is what made him unstoppable, and it's the same blueprint Clark followed. Defenses can't just focus on her shooting because she'll pick them apart with passes. They can't just sell out to stop her passing because she'll drop 40 on their heads. Magic also showed Clark something else crucial. He played with an edge. That famous smile came with killer instinct. He wanted to embarrass you, and he wanted you to know he was having fun doing it. Clark plays with that same energy, that same confidence that borders on arrogance, but backs it up with performance. Magic gave her permission to be great and cocky about it as long as the performance matched the swagger. At number 3, we have Diana Taurasi, and if you're a fan of women's basketball, you already know why she's this high on the list. Taurasi is the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 6-time WNBA scoring champion. The list of accomplishments is absurd. But what Clark respects most about Taurasi is the fire, the competitiveness, the absolute refusal to back down from anyone or anything.
She was one of the first that I really knew about and supported and, idolized and wanted to be like. And, I just admired the way she played the game and the fire that she played with. And like I said yesterday, it's impressive that she's still able to play this game at such a high level and produce the way she does. It's incredible. I think she's obviously the best scorer our game has ever seen and one of the best players our game has ever seen. But I would say my first memory is just around the WNBA in general and when I first started to really watch this league.
Taurasi plays like every game is personal, like every defender disrespected her family. She's been called cocky, arrogant, a trash talker, and she wears those labels like badges of honor. Clark sees herself in Taurasi's mentality. Both players faced constant criticism for their confidence. Both were told to be more humble, more gracious, more palatable. Both said no thanks and kept dominating. Taurasi showed Clark that you don't apologize for being great. You don't dim your light to make others comfortable. You show up, you perform, and you let your game do the talking. Taurasi's scoring ability is legendary. She can beat you from 3. She can take you off the dribble. She can post you up. She can hit the mid-range. There's no weakness in her offensive game. Clark studied that versatility, that refusal to be one-dimensional, but more than the skills, Taurasi showed Clark what it means to have a long career at the highest level. Taurasi is in her 40s and still competing at an elite level. That longevity doesn't happen by accident. It happens through obsessive preparation, body maintenance, and mental toughness. In many ways, Taurasi is the women's basketball GOAT, and Clark respects that she paved the way for players like her to be unapologetically great. Now we arrive at number 2, and this name carries weight that transcends basketball. LeBron James, 4-time NBA champion. But for Caitlin Clark, LeBron represents something even more significant than his Hall of Fame resume. LeBron has been the most visible, most vocal, most consistent supporter of women's basketball among male NBA superstars. He's tweeted about women's games. He's shown up to watch. He's used his platform to elevate women players.
I knew I was going to meet him when I was coming to the game, and that's one of my idols. LeBron is the GOAT to me, so I don't know, it was just a crazy moment where I got to meet him in the back, and then for him to go out of his way and wish me luck on the season. And he really does follow the WNBA, and he watches, and he loves and appreciates basketball, and he loves and appreciates the way the Fever and my teammates play. And I mean, it's just really cool. I saw that. I didn't see it before the game, but obviously a lot of people had sent it to me after the game. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought it was kind of fake at first, but he's my favorite player of all time. I mean, you never know in today's world, I guess. I didn't know. I was like, wait, is this actually LeBron James? I knew the picture was real because I knew that was me, but yeah, it was pretty incredible.
When Caitlin Clark was breaking records and filling arenas, LeBron was one of the first to publicly recognize her greatness. That matters. But beyond the advocacy, Clark respects LeBron's all-around excellence. He's not just a scorer. He's not just a passer. He's not just a defender. He's everything. At 6'9" and 250 pounds, He can guard all 5 positions, facilitate like a point guard, and score from anywhere on the floor. His basketball IQ is off the charts. He makes everyone around him better while still being the best player on the court. Clark has mentioned studying LeBron's ability to control the pace of the game, his understanding of when to score and when to distribute, and his leadership style. LeBron has played in 10 NBA Finals. He's been under the brightest lights for over 2 decades. The pressure that comes with being labeled the next big thing, the chosen one, the face of the sport. LeBron lived that reality from the moment he stepped into the league as a teenager. Clark understands that pressure. She felt it every time Iowa took the court, with everyone expecting her to drop 35 and put on a show. LeBron's longevity is also something Clark admires. He's entering his 22nd season and still performing at an elite level. That doesn't happen without fanatical dedication to his craft and his body. Clark knows that if she wants a long, successful professional career, she needs to approach the game with that same obsessive preparation. And here's the real reason LeBron is number 2. He showed Clark that greatness isn't just about what you do on the court. It's about how you use your influence off it. LeBron built schools, created opportunities, and changed lives. He understood that being great at basketball is temporary, but the impact you have on people can be permanent. For Clark, who's already changing the landscape of women's basketball and inspiring a generation of young girls, LeBron's example of using platform for purpose resonates deeply. And now we arrive at number 1, the player Caitlin Clark respects most, Kobe Bryant. If you're surprised you haven't been paying attention, Kobe represents everything Clark values about basketball and about legacy. 5 championships, 18 All-Star selections, an 81-point game, 2 Olympic gold medals. But those numbers don't even begin to capture why Kobe is number 1 on this list. Kobe Bryant embodied the Mamba mentality, the idea that greatness isn't given, it's earned through obsessive work, relentless focus, and an unwillingness to accept anything less than perfection. Kobe was in the gym before everyone and stayed after everyone left. He studied film like a PhD student. He learned languages to trash talk international opponents. He played through injuries that would sideline most players. He wanted to destroy you mentally before the game even started. Clark has talked openly about how Kobe's work ethic shaped her approach to basketball. She wasn't the most naturally athletic player. She wasn't the biggest or the fastest, but she could outwork everyone. She could outsmart everyone. That's pure Kobe. He wasn't the most athletic player of his generation, but his skill level, his footwork, his understanding of angles and leverage made him unstoppable. But here's what elevates Kobe to the top of Clark's list: his respect and advocacy for women's basketball. Kobe coached his daughter Gianna's AAU team. He was a fixture at women's college games and WNBA games. He publicly stated that the future of basketball was in women's hands and that the women's game was often more fundamentally sound and team-oriented than the men's game. He wasn't just paying lip service, he genuinely loved and respected women's basketball. When Kobe tragically passed away along with Gianna and 7 others in that helicopter crash, the women's basketball community mourned like they lost family. Because in many ways, they did. Kobe saw women players as equals, as hoopers, deserving of the same respect and platform as their male counterparts. For Clark, who has faced criticism, scrutiny, and sometimes disrespect throughout her career, Kobe's validation of women's basketball meant everything. Kobe's killer instinct also resonates with Clark. He wanted the last shot. He wanted the pressure. He wanted everyone watching. If you gave him the ball with the game on the line, he expected to make it. Not hoped. Expected. That confidence, that belief that you're the best player on the floor and it's not even close, that's something Clark carries every time she steps on the court. Kobe also showed Clark the importance of evolution. He wasn't the same player at 37 that he was at 23. He adapted his game as his body changed. He became a better playmaker, a smarter defender, a more efficient scorer. He understood that longevity requires adaptation. Clark is entering the professional ranks knowing that her game will need to evolve, and Kobe's career provides the blueprint for how to do that while maintaining excellence. The Mamba mentality isn't just about basketball, it's about approaching everything in life with purpose, focus, and an unrelenting drive to be the best version of yourself. It's about respecting the process, trusting the work, and never taking shortcuts. For Caitlin Clark, who has already accomplished more than most players dream of and is just getting started, Kobe Bryant represents the standard, the example. The ultimate competitor who proved that greatness isn't about talent alone, it's about what you do with that talent when no one is watching. So there you have it. 7 players, 7 different lessons, 7 pieces of the puzzle that make Caitlin Clark who she is. From Maya Moore's courage to Kobe's killer instinct, from Curry's revolution to LeBron's leadership, these names reveal something powerful. Clark didn't just want to be great, she wanted to be complete. She wanted to understand every dimension of excellence, and she found teachers across generations and genders who showed her the way. What's remarkable isn't just that Clark studied these legends, it's that she took something unique from each one and blended it into her own style. That's the mark of true greatness. Not copying, but learning. Not imitating, but evolving. The future of basketball is in good hands because Caitlin Clark learned from the best and is building her own legacy on foundations built by giants. The question now is, whose list will Caitlin Clark end up on? What young player right now is watching her highlights, studying her moves, and dreaming of following in her footsteps? The student has become the teacher. The legend continues, and we're all lucky enough to witness it.